I'm really upset with this movie. We have watched some bad movies before on this podcast. I think that this might actually take the cake for the worst movie that we've featured on this podcast.
That's surprising to me. I enjoyed this one.
No, you didn't. What?
Yes. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I enjoyed it. What was so bad about it? Well, let's jump into the plot, and you can detail your issues with it.
Well, before we even jump into the plot, I just want to say the movie is shot poorly. Like, as in, like, it looks like NCIS.
In some ways, it is. In some ways, it's shot amazingly. The way he utilizes drones, like, yes, any low-budget filmmaker can use a drone to accomplish certain shots. Only a filmmaker with a budget can do some of the drone shots that he does, where the drones are, like, weaving in and out of car chases. I thought that was amazing. I mean,
there's some awesome stuff with drones, but, like...
There's too much, like, rooftop, like, going down where the camera's just kind of going everywhere. Well, I felt like I was watching a Spider-Man movie. Like, the Sam Raimi movies, the POV.
A lot of the drone shots and, like, the quick cuts and the shaky cams and the brief close-ups and the Dutch angles and the quick pans and the quick zooms and mixed with extreme quick zooms and, like, they're all fucking nauseating. They really are. I was watching this movie and I was getting
I don't think they all are. I think some of them are.
There's some really cool drone shots that like, again, that were standouts, but...
This is a movie that really showcases both the best and worst of Michael Bay. Because at his best, he can put together a scene, an exciting action scene, and he knows how to competently shoot things. And at his worst, the character stuff there's little to no attention to it, and it's underwritten, and also there's terrible humor mixed in. There's apparently references to his own movies. That's a thing I guess he does. And,
I guess so, right?
Yeah, and then there's a little too much shaky cam, but that's not a Michael Bay thing. That's a modern action movie thing, and I didn't think this was as bad an offender as a lot of other movies I've seen.
This whole movie just pissed me off. And on top of that, this movie, I was thinking about, like, all the drone shots, and I was like, you know what? I was like, there's no way that this is, like, a real movie. This is, like, a project to showcase, like, drone work in movies or something. That's what I thought. And when I looked it up, this movie had been in, like, development hell since, like, 2015 or something. Some fucking studio acquired the rights or the remake rights to this Danish film of the same name that had come out in, like, 2005. And it had just been kind of bounced around between a bunch of different directors and studios and stuff. And then Michael Bay, in, like, the beginning of the pandemic, was like, I just want to get out there and film something. And...
I loved how he chose to do this movie because he envisioned this as this would be a small movie that he could shoot during the pandemic. There's nothing small about
I know.
this.
It was big. It was all over the top. And the like most of it actually doesn't take place in an ambulance. You know, like there's like...
The ambulance is crucial to the plot, okay? It doesn't matter how much takes place in it.
It is, but I mean, like, I like the idea that he also thought that he wanted something that was kind of, like, small and confined and relatively claustrophobic, but then half of the movie is racing around the streets of LA.